Knowledge for Men, episode 72.
Welcome to knowledgeformen.com, where you're going to grow into the man you want to be. Your life will never be the same again. I can guarantee it.
Hey guys, one of the questions I've been getting a lot lately is, can you put together a list of the best books and success quotes from all of your guests and combine that into one guide? And so I've actually just done that. It's called the top 30 books and success quotes every man must live by. So out of all of the podcast episodes I've done, over 60, I finally put together this guide, and you can download it for free at kfmfree.com. Again, that's kfmfree.com. All right, I'm here with professional boxer Victor Ortiz. He's the former WBC welterweight champion and formerly rated one of the top 3 welterweight boxers in the world by ESPN. He has a fight record of 29 wins and 5 losses, and Victor recently stars in the recent film Expendables 3 alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and Harrison Ford. All right, Victor, happy to have you here.
Hey, pleasure's mine. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, and so we always start off the show with a favorite success quote from the guest. So if you could share with us what you got and if you can explain why. Go ahead, Victor.
Well, quotes. You know what? With success comes a lot of failure, and hey, doesn't matter how many times you fall. It just depends on how you get up, brush it off, and keep succeeding. You know.
And coming from a championship boxer, I mean, that's got to be your motto. You just get back up. You know, just like in life, you fall down, get back up and keep going. So let's now learn more about you and kind of how you got started with what you do. So share with the audience your story, Victor.
Well, I'm not the only person in the world who's been through stuff like this. I mean, nowadays, kids don't have their parents, and it's tough. You know, I went to school one day, my brother, my sister, myself, go to school one day, come home from school to an empty household. My mother packed her stuff, left, nothing ever said, no goodbye. It was kind of like one of those, good luck, I hope you guys do something with yourselves. My father, when he found out that took place, he went off, he took off as well, except his way of leading was a little different. He would leave for a week, come back for a couple days, leave for a month, come back for a few days, come back, stay for a week, 2 weeks. It was kind of a sad ordeal, but I always just kept a smile on my face. I mean, every time you see me nowadays, I smile big because I sincerely mean it. At the time, though, it hurt. It gave me a lot of ambition, though. My father had put me in the boxing gym when I was 7. I was a little fat kid that used to play the piano. I used to be in school solos and the choir. I used to have vocal coaching. It was complete 360 of what he made me do because I got made fun of and beat up a lot because of it. So I was naturally good at it. I'm right-handed, but they changed me to left-handed because I couldn't stand right-handed, and I didn't like it. It just felt awkward and weird. So finally, I became one of the greatest southpaws as a kid. Nobody could touch me. They couldn't stand boxing with me because every time they tried to touch me or hit me, it was like I left every inch of rage in that ring from what I was going through. So it kind of helped me keep my head straight, along with this little old man by the name of Ignacio Avila. We called him Bucky. Bucky was like my father. He was like my mentor. He was like everything that a kid should have had at the time, especially one like me. He sat me down every day of my life pretty much when I was a kid and would give me his insight of life. He would give me the importance of school. He'd tell me why, the do's, the don'ts. I would never disrespect the man. It was kind of scary, especially when he would go to school when I was in school, and he would actually check my transcripts, make sure I had my grades up. So he'd lecture me on the regular. So more than anything, he was like my father, along with my brother, because my brother would train at the time too, and we were kids. My sister, by this point in time, had a boyfriend. She went off, started her family, and my younger brother and I just kind of ended up in the whole situation of this. Next thing you know, some time goes by, and I get in a big fight at school. When by this point in time, I'm about 12, 13 years old. Big fight at school. But from 7 to 13 and 12 and all that, I had some great friends. Through my great friends, who were family to me, till the day I still could call them family. They're my brothers. They're everything that I needed as a kid because they had families. I'd sit back and I'd say, you know what, one day I want something like that. I'll make it one day, but I want to be like them. So they were the people that I followed in their footsteps, I guess, kind of in a way. And I would always tell them, dude, when I get older, man, I'm gonna be champion of the world. I'm gonna be one of the biggest people alive. I said you would always be my best friends for as long as I live. You guys have always been there for me. Let me borrow your clothes, fed me, let me borrow your shoes, and promise you, man, I will always be there for you guys no matter what. I kept my word, said and done. 13 years old kicks around. I told him, you know what though? I'm gonna be one of the biggest world champions alive in boxing. My buddies at the time just said, look, Vic, if you really want it, man, just follow your heart, dude. You can do it. I was like, wow, that's all I really needed to hear from my buddies. And said and done. I went out there, conquered the world championship. My boys were right next to me inside the ring, and I looked at them like, what I said when I was a kid, guys? World champs tonight. That fucking belt's coming home with me tonight. So yeah, it was an interesting though. The way the services found out that we actually didn't have parents though is at school. Another fight takes place. I end up getting a big fight at school due to a kid calling me some very derogatory names. So okay, I told him, okay, let me show you something real quick. Get to my pocket. Pulled out a fist and delivered it to his mouth. Teeth were flying everywhere and kid was crying, bleeding everywhere. And I was like, no, 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 come here. We're going to talk real quick. We're just going to talk about this just really quick. I said, after we're done talking, we'll be good. So long story short, we're talking, and I two punches. And then after that, I got arrested. And that's how the services found out, oh, Ortiz has no parents, this and that. They did all their research. They started calling left and right, people that they may know. They got in contact with my father. I hadn't seen him in almost a year. And that's where they gave me a choice. They gave him a choice as well. So by this point in time, I was always getting tutoring classes by a teacher, Sharon Ford. And Sharon would always help me with everything. She became my guardian in the end. She raised me from 13 to 16. And then my sister did the same thing I did for my brother. She filed for custody of me, got me out of Sharon and John's custody. But those are beautiful people. They've always helped me, always been there for me. And I told her, too, when I was 13, hey, Mom, one day I'm going to be world champion. And when that day comes around, I'm going to make sure you and Dad are right there next to me in the next to the ringside. Don't know if they believe me, but she said, sweetheart, I believe you will be one of the biggest stars alive. I said, thank you. Next thing you know, same as my best friend, they're sitting ringside. And I was like, I told you guys, champs tonight, champs tonight. So we went off, conquered the world, and you know what? Ever since, I've had an interesting career. I've had my ups, I've had my downs, but never once am I going to lose my goal. And I will be the greatest world champ of all time, like Muhammad Ali once said. I mean, hey, sometimes it has to rain before the sun starts shining, But I don't get down on myself, so that's very important. And from boxing, it led to other things. I had been boxing, never ever running from anyone, and I would accept any and every fight, being low paid, being lowballed by every promoter, every manager. I didn't really care though. I had one goal, and that was to be world champ. It finally came to a rest when I got my jaw broken a couple years ago. It was like, I don't know if you're religious, but the Lord does things for a reason. And I think my reason for this particular situation was the simple fact that I didn't rest. I took any fight on. I didn't run. I don't hide. I take it as it is. And this particular situation, the kid, I'm completely destroying him. He lands a lucky punch that breaks my jaw. Except the pain from having a black eye, closed eyes, messed up face to having a broken jaw, the equivalency of that kind of pain is day and night, night and day. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. I don't know. So I get my jaw broken, and for the first time, you know what? I said to myself, I don't really want to sit here and be crippled for a little while. It's going to take me like 2 years before I can actually step into a ring. So you know what? In those 2 years, I'm going to conquer the world in a different way. So I took on doing Dancing with the Stars, and from there, I get casted. Gersh, my agents, along with my management, Scott, Sam, and Brett, asked me, Victor, what would you say about being on a movie with Expendables 3, Sylvester Stallone? I was like, yeah, nice joke, guys. Nice joke. Okay, anyways, when you guys are done teasing me, no, really, would you be interested? I was like, I mean, I'd definitely be interested, but am I going to get a part like that on such a prestigious movie? Probably not, but I'm all in, guys, whatever you guys say. Well, next thing you know, I'm on a plane heading to Bulgaria for 3 months with some of the biggest cinema legends of all time. And I actually had a fight that month coming. It was the undercard of Mayweather, and I didn't really feel like being the undercard to that fight. So I said, you know what? I think I'll pass. I'm gonna go shoot this movie. But the only reason I did the movie is because I spoke to one of my best friends, who is Austin Brown. Austin Brown is an up and coming artist. In my eyes, he's already there because I mean, anytime you have an aunt that's named Janet Jackson and an uncle named Michael Jackson, and you can sing just like your uncle, I think you're there. So I asked him, hey, bro, you come from this kind of family, you come from this kind of background. Like, can you give me some kind of insight of where I should go with things? Like, dude, I've just been treated like crap my whole boxing career, man. And even so, I've managed to overcome a lot of situations. Was I supposed to be world champion? No. They called me on a short notice to get dismantled and drilled. Did I take that? I took the fight because I was that sure of myself, and I did. Now, I'm still being treated very foul in the boxing game, so what do you think I should do? Should I go on and shoot this movie, or should I just let them stomp all over me and put me as an undercard to somebody that's not at my level? Says, Vic, man, you've more than paid your dues, bro. Go out and film this movie, man. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's like, wow, thank you, Austin. All right, man, I'll trust and believe in you. And you know what? I'm glad that I'm very open-minded because at the end of the day, I launched a great new career, which is Expendables 3 in acting, and I became a very prestigious name in the movie acting industry, which is pretty cool because nowadays I'm not worth no $5,000 or $100 to be getting a fight. Now, if I want to fight, we can talk some numbers.
So acting has also boosted your boxing career because you have a bigger name, you have a bigger brand for yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Because outside of the boxing world, I'm actually well known now. I go out to Santa Monica Pier, and I mean, I'll be damned if I don't get stopped a good 20 times. And the way I am, I make sure I give everyone a picture, a hug, shake your hand. How are you, sir? Even if you hate me, there's been times where people come up to me, I hate you, you have SOB, da da. I'm just like, cool, man. Anyways, enjoy your time too. You have yourself a good one. So it's bittersweet sometimes, but I don't really mind it. I'm very blessed.
So then, Victor, how have you managed the opinions of other people? I mean, as a fighter, I assume that it's much worse. You know, the people telling you this and that. And so, in your career, how have you managed that?
You know what? I kind of just smile and laugh about it because if you turn back to 2011, it was Victor Ortiz who. I was driving a Red Bull van as a merchandiser to stores. I was working for construction. I was raising my younger brother. I lived in a two-bedroom apartment that I was living in on a paycheck to paycheck on advances because I couldn't afford it. So I was pretty much working for free. So anybody who says anything negative or bad about me, I kind of just smile and laugh because, to be honest with you, go back to look at your statistics. I'm not supposed to be anywhere near about anything. I'm supposed to be a street kid who didn't succeed and didn't do anything and supposed to be wallowing all over myself somewhere in the corner, drinking myself to sleep, maybe trying to have some kind of dream that maybe, just maybe, may come true one day. And the thing is this, I said, pay attention. I don't really care what people have to say about me. So at the end of the day, I can definitely see why some big stars are the way they are sometimes in the sense of they're too, oh, I'm too good for you, stay away from me. It's because of people like that. They're just very negative. They're so angry at the fact that they didn't do anything with themselves throughout their life that they have to put somebody down like myself to make themselves feel good or maybe a little bit better about themselves, you know, because their life's so shitty and they didn't do anything with it when they, in fact, maybe had an opportunity to do something like myself. Just all you really got to do, the formula to success, I'm pretty sure, is dream big. Stop at nothing. You're going to fall a million times. Get your ass up and work harder.
Would you say that this philosophy is something that you developed to kind of show your younger siblings that you can make it, since you had to take on a leadership role in your family at a young age and really help them understand that it's possible for you to make it as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I had to be the leader of the pack, you know. Was I scared sometimes on the rise? Of course I was. I didn't know where the hell I was going. I mean, I jumped in an airplane when I was 16 years old, come to California to meet up with some strangers I've never met in my life because I had a silly dream that through movies, Rocky Balboa gave me a dream, gave me a little silly thought that maybe perhaps a street kid like myself can get into an airplane with one pair of jeans, 3 t-shirts, land here with $15 to my goddamn name, and say, screw it, I'm going to be one of the greatest fighters of all time.
What's funny about that, too, is you just finished up doing a movie with Sylvester Stallone. So what was that experience like, having this dream and then you're in a movie set with him, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky?
No, trust me. It was funny because when we were actually on set, there was this time where I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting with Rocky Balboa in the back. I have his soundtrack in my iPod, but they're only shooting this side, the right side of my face, so they can't see the left. So I ran my headphone from here to here, so you can't see anything from this side. And I'm listening to dun 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 dun, and then next you know, one of the producers and directors says, the microphones are picking up some theme song. I was like, and then I'm like, sorry guys, that's me. I'm listening to Rocky. He goes, that's back in the 70s. I go, holy crap. So
that's got to be such an awkward moment, but really funny at the same time. So what was it like working with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and the rest of the cast?
No, absolutely. I'm very blessed. Everybody seemed to like me. They enjoyed my company and vice versa. Arnold, I got to pick his brain a little bit here and there. Kelsey Grammer, he's an amazing person. Randy Couture.
So when you were able to pick, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's brain and some of these other guys, what did they tell you?
He goes, well, one of the first things that Arnold Schwarzenegger tells me, he says, so you're a boxer, huh? And I said, yes, sir, absolutely. He says, that's just dangerous. When you're young, you think the world will never do no harm. You don't fight too long. It's a very dangerous sport. And I was like, yes, sir, sounds good. Aye, whatever you say, man. You're Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then obviously with Sylvester Stallone, I got to pick his brain about, back in when you sparred with, and he told me the history of, I used to spar with Manitas de Piedra, with Roberto Duran, it was great, he broke my ribs one time, and I go, holy crap. I gotta pick Dolph Lundgren's brain, I gotta Mel Gibson, I gotta spend Halloween, Thanksgiving, and last Christmas with Gibson, his family, and everybody. It was pretty nice. I just, I had an amazing time. I gotta pick Randy Couture's brain a little bit too, and we still keep in touch. He's amazing. So, I don't know. I just, I'm very blessed. Very blessed.
Well, you also did the work. And like you said, your mantra of, fall, every time you fall down, get back up. So you definitely put in the time and did the work. And what would you have to say to anybody listening right now who wants to become a champion in their industry?
If you want to be champion, it comes down to this. You're going to fall a lot. Even whenever you hit your lows to where you think the world is on your shoulders and it may be over, it's not over until you say so. Until you tell yourself it's over, and it's over. I haven't told myself it's over because I'm just starting. And mind you, there's always going to be people saying and critics talking really bad about you. Let them. You just keep to yourself. Do what you're going to do. Do what you were put here to do. Not because this person is feeling bad about themselves and how much of a loser they became. Maybe because they became a really fat guy that's just giving criticism to everyone. Let him. Nobody told him to do that and choose that route. But you're telling yourself to be champ, so do it.
I like that. And now, Victor, it's time that we enter the knowledge round. Are you ready?
Okay.
Do you ever have so many books to read that you end up not reading at all? You have so many books in your library on your list of books that you want to read, but you don't know which books to tackle first? I know in all of my episodes, I ask guests, what are your favorite books? What are your most influential books? And they always list 3 or 4. And I always ask guests for their favorite success quote. I find that quotes can be so powerful sometimes, yet There's so many available. So what I've done is I put together a list of the top 30 books and top 30 success quotes that I think every man must live by. And these are directly from guests on the Knowledge for Men podcast. And as you know, some of the guests on my show sold their companies for millions of dollars. They're running billion-dollar organizations. They're dating coaches. They're health coaches. They're entrepreneurs. They're celebrities on TV. They're mixed martial artists. Just this wide variety of great minds. And I put together a list of the top 30 books and top 30 success quotes that every man must live by. You can download this guide for free at kfmfree.com. Again, that's kfmfree.com.
Welcome to the Knowledge Round, where the guests will be asked rapid-fire questions to give the audience invaluable pieces of wisdom to help transform their lives. Starting in 3, 2, 1, showtime.
Victor, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's feeling lost or unsure of their purpose?
I guess just, hey, follow your heart. Always dream big. That's it.
All right, nice and simple. And Victor, what was holding you back from becoming the man you are now today?
I think what was holding me back was probably the sense of what would people say, what would people think about me. And I finally said, it's me doing me. That's it.
All right, and Victor, can you name a person who's had a tremendous impact on your life, maybe a mentor? What did he or she tell you specifically that really had an impactful moment for you?
I think one of my biggest mentors of all time to the day was my old boxing coach by the name of Ignacio Avila, also known as Bucky. That man gave me every piece of knowledge possible that I needed as a kid to succeed. And even as an adult, there was one thing that's always stayed in my mind. He always said, Junior, you're going to have a lot of responsibility. You're going to be one of the biggest stars of all time. And with that responsibility, please, make sure you give everyone your time. Make sure you always shake everyone's hand. And don't ever ignore the little kids. And I said, absolutely, yes, sir.
I like that. And you mentioned earlier that you were a reader. So what are your 3 most influential books and why?
Well, to tell you the truth, I've just been reading scripts lately. But other than that, I've had some Joel Osteen books, Anthony Robbins books, a few of them actually. And if you really want to get into the crazier books that I read is I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. You read that, right?
Yeah, that's Tucker Max.
Yeah, it's I just finally snapped out of it because I was so into Max Tucker, and I was like, this dude is so foul, man, but he's so awesome. So I kind of snapped out of reading him. So I haven't really read the whole second book. I've read more than a few chapters of it, but he's a bad influence on me.
Yeah. You're talking about his second book, Assholes, finished first.
Yes. That's why I stopped reading it. I was like, I really am an asshole.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I like the books because it's really good writing. It's really good storytelling.
It's great. But I really take it and I think about things. I'm like, Yeah.
All right. And scenario here for you, Victor. Imagine you had 60 seconds with your 20-year-old self. What would you tell him to do, and what would you tell him not to do?
Shoot, I'd tell him to chill on the girls and...
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that every guy says. It's like girls and booze, like we got to get rid of those. It's just like holding us back.
Chill on the girls for sure. And let me see. And just, if I had that one chance with Floyd Mayweather again, do not be nice to that SOB. Just be an animal. That's it.
And just to kind of summarize some of the main points here, I mean, you've achieved so much, like from where you came from to winning the WBC welterweight championship title in boxing to acting and Dancing with Stars. I mean, from where you came to where you are now, you've achieved so much. So what would be your philosophy on life and success?
It's going to sound weird, but I don't really think of any of that. I just live in the moment. I live in the now. I don't really get into the mixes of the past. I don't get into the mixes of what's in the future. I have a goal set, and that's kind of the thing that I just chase and go after. I just live in the moment.
All right, that's going to conclude the knowledge round. So what's really exciting you today? Like, what's getting you out of bed in the morning, Victor?
As of right now, I had a fight that was canceled, so I was like, oh, man, really? It was 5th of July, and then they changed it to the 13th of July, and I was like, man, that's no good. So that was what was keeping me going. But as of right now, I said, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and wait for anyone. So I took on another project, and I'm in a new movie called Southpaw. It's starring Rachel McAdams, Jake Gyllenhaal, Forrest Whitaker, and Curtis Jackson, which is 50 Cent. And I'm actually one of the leads there too. So that's what's keeping me going right now. I mean, motivates me to go to the gym because our dear friend Jake is looking pretty shredded, and I can't have him look too good, you know.
Yeah, but can he do anything with those muscles? That's the question.
He can go to the beach. Hey, he can go to the beach. Hey, he can go to the beach and be like, yeah, the beach is that way, you know.
Santa Monica Pier that way.
Heck yeah.
Wow, that actually sounds like a really good role, though. I mean, there's some really good actors. I thought you were going to talk more about Expendables 3. So, I mean, do you see that acting is a transition for you out of boxing?
I sure do, you know. I got to get my schedule back for the University of Kansas. I got to finish my major still. That's on hold. It's been on hold. But also, yeah, absolutely. You know, after I'm done boxing, then what? As much as people can say and talk about me in a negative tone, when my career comes to an end in boxing, hey, I'm fine. When I say I'm done boxing is the day I'll say, hey, you know what? I cleaned out the divisions, and I'm good. I'm going to go on and take on the world now, just like Antonio Banderas and Mel Gibson and all these guys. I mean, you know, there's not too many Latin actors out there, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, you've proven yourself in boxing. You know, you won the WBC welterweight champion, and like you're getting these great film roles, so it just seems like it's flowing in nicely into your career. So we're coming to an end here, Victor. Would you like to plug yourself for any upcoming film roles? Obviously, Expendables 3 is coming out soon. And do you have any social media links that you'd like to share with my audience?
Yeah, absolutely. People want to follow me on Instagram. You can follow me at ITSV Ortiz. So it's V Ortiz. Because when I say it's V Ortiz, people put V Ortiz. I can't find it. I'm like, no, I said it's V Ortiz. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, go to @ViciousOrtiz for Twitter. And Facebook page, just Victor Ortiz, I think. Some people have stole that account a few times now, so I don't know where it stands. But yeah, find me.
All right. And Victor, thank you so much for spending time with my Knowledge for Men community, sharing your story and life lessons with all of us here today.
Anytime, guys. Anytime. I'm here.
All right. And that's going to wrap up episode 72 with Victor Ortiz. All right. And the challenge item I have for you guys is to drop caring about the opinions of other people. That's it. I mean, Victor uses it all the time, and it's been a challenge for him when he was starting out with boxing and into his career, and it's something that he had to overcome. And he was able to get massive success by overcoming this, along with hard work and always continuing to strive. But this was a key part. And so for all of you guys listening, think about how much you think about, you know, the opinions of other people. Whether you realize it or not, we all do to a certain extent. Some more than others, some less than others. But be conscious about it. And today we're going to drop the opinions of other people. Because the opinions of other people are really just, they're trying to hold you back. Because they don't want you to change. They don't want to see that you're growing. People want everything to stay the same. So when you break through that, you can break through in life. All right, guys. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Knowledge for Men podcast show. It's been a pleasure having you be a part of a thriving community of men who want to crush it in all aspects of life. I'm on a mission here to inspire millions of guys, and with your help, we're going to make a dent in the universe. Check out knowledgeformen.com for a ton of free content that's designed to help you live a remarkable life. Again, that's knowledgeformen.com. I hope to see you there. And always remember, 2014 is the official year of the crush, where we take action to get the life we've always dreamed of. This is your host, Andrew Farabee, and until next time, let's do it.